In the large Basilica of the Holy Sepulchre, a relatively small area around the edicule, which surrounds the empty tomb of Christ, was packed to capacity on the morning of Holy Thursday. Many priests, among them Franciscan friars, joined local Christians and pilgrims for a combined Mass of the Last Supper and that of the annual blessing of the anointing oils. "Here am I, Lord, I come to do your will," they sang after each verse of the psalm, anticipating this evening's recollection of Christ's poignant cry, "My Father, if this cup cannot pass me by, but I must drink it, your will be done." This Mass at the beginning of the Easter Tridium celebrates Christ's gift of the Eucharist and his institution of the priesthood. Perhaps less honoured over the centuries is his plea that this new priesthood humbly serve the faithful, a priority symbolised in his washing of the feet of his disciples. This Holy Thursday morning, 6 Franciscan friars and 6 secular priests had their feet washed by the Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem, Fuad Tual, who was the principal celebrant of the Mass. In his homily, his beatitude referred to Peter, who had been appalled by the very idea that Christ should wash his feet.
In each of us there is a Peter who claims to save and sanctify himself through his own merits, the Patriarch said. In this way we empty the cross of Christ of its power. "If I do not wash your feet, Peter, you can have no part in me." Accepting that salvation comes from Jesus on the cross means passing from our self-sufficiency, in which we know how to do everything. It is moving from the freedom that allows us to say everything to the humility that loves, listens, and accepts the need of being constantly sustained and forgiven.
Today, perhaps above all, we think of the Eucharist, the central characteristic of that last Passover meal which Christ celebrated with his disciples. And so a covered ciborium, containing sacred hosts, is processed around the edicule 3 times, accompanied by the many priests present, for this is their day too, in that the new priesthood was established at the Last Supper. With white vestments, these 21st century successors of the apostles, carrying lighted candles, therefore celebrate a double event, their ordinations and their privilege in consecrating bread and wine into the very presence of the Christ they follow. At the end of the procession, the incomparable gift that is the Eucharist was taken into the tomb of him who gave himself for us, and in the Eucharist to us. Given the richness of differing cultural expressions of Christianity within the Basilica of the Holy Sepulchre, it was no surprise to see Greek Orthodox priests celebrating their Holy Thursday liturgy in the courtyard outside the Basilica, as this year the Orthodox and Catholic Holy Week liturgies coincide. Almost throughout the year, liturgically speaking, the tomb is once again empty. Where is he? As the celebrants and faithful sang at Mass, "Ubi caritas et amor, Deus ibi est." Where there is charity and love, God is present.